Oh, right. It is Tuesday. It is a really nice morning so far, and it's only going to get better, right, Justin?
Yeah, that's the good news we got coming to you on this Tuesday a.m. Lots of sunshine early. We'll bring a few clouds in the afternoon, but the southwest wind also bringing the temperatures back up. If you thought yesterday's mid to upper 50s was nice, we're going to be even warmer than that today and tomorrow, and so that to look forward to through the middle of this week. Rain comes in Thursday. We're going to talk about the timing of all that as we discuss the forecast, but there's also a chance for some snow to work back in.
You were so close.
I know, within the next week, but it is still March. Not going to be here anytime before the weekend, and it's not, I don't think it'll be here during the weekend either. There is a chance for a stray shower St. Patrick's Day, but last year, folks remember in 2023, St. Patrick's Day weekend wasn't the best around our state. Dealt with some cold rain, some wind, and even a few snow areas mixed in there. Overall, just very dreary, and we know in March, that tends to be the norm most years, but it'll be nice, I think, to get a dry day in, hopefully this year, with temps in the 40s, which, again, is an improvement on last year. So we'll take what we can get. It's too bad, though, that the St. Patrick's Day, or maybe it's good, I don't know, depending on the way you look at it, that the St. Patrick's Day weekend doesn't have the weather we have these next 2 days, because mid-60s is glorious around our area.
So would you say March is kind of like that transition month?
It is, for sure, yeah.
Like total crapshoot of where
it can be, but I'd argue so is April, and some years so is May. Just any time in the spring you get these big fluctuations, and wind direction is paramount. I mean, it's huge this time of year. We talk about Sunday stayed in the 30s, woke up with snow on the ground. That was because we had a northwest wind. We had a southwest wind yesterday get us back to the upper 50s, and we're going to be in the 60s today because of that same breeze. Although next week, it's another northwest wind. It's going to bring in the 30s for more highs and probably more opportunities for snow as well. But that doesn't even last that long. We go back up after that. So a very up and down pattern. A lot of it is wind driven. It depends on the time of year. Summertime, you can have a north wind and still be warm. Wintertime, you can have a south wind and still be cold, just because the temperatures are kind of so set where they are. Summer you get prolonged warmth, winter prolonged cold. In the spring it's a coin flip, quite literally, and so wherever the wind is coming from tends to be how you feel that way, and so the direction in the spring and fall, big time, especially in the spring.
All right. Well, the sun looks very nice today.
Yeah, great to have. We had a really nice sunrise this morning, and we had a picture that I posted on our social media around mid-Michigan. A really great view to start the day. The clouds are high. They're wispy. Not too much going on out there. They're not blocking out much of the sunlight. The temperatures right now are at 43. That was at the top of the 8 o'clock hour. Now that it is 8:30 and the update will come in at 9, I suspect we'll start to see these numbers slowly warm again. But I'll tell you what, 43 is our average high temperature this time of year, and it's our number out there right now at 8:30. And so we're already doing pretty well this morning. South wind is again helping us out with that. You can see the temperature difference. Yesterday we started off in the 20s. And how about this? The plus side, 15 to 20 degrees. Anytime you get this graphic to show up in the orange and red, it means you're doing something right, in my opinion at least. Got pretty nice conditions around the area. 43 as well in Mason, 44 for Jackson, St. John's 42. Charlotte, one of the few places in the upper 30s, but everybody, again, is above average, certainly for the time of year, and the temperatures hour by hour. We're going to only warm up from here. Now that the sun is up and out, those numbers go mid-60s later today. Between the hours, probably about 65. And a few places might get warmer than that, especially if you get a little extra sunshine today. But we'll take it either way. It's a day where we're more than 20 degrees above normal heading into this afternoon. Just a really beautiful first alert forecast for the area. Satellite radar, once again, is pretty quiet today. We had a couple of those clouds drift through early. Now we're back into some clearer skies, and it's just high cloudiness. We'll bring in some more low clouds by the afternoon. You can see looking west, there are a few batches of clouds looking on the other side of Lake Michigan. The one that's moving into Chicago in the next hour or two, that one's going to come through here this afternoon. So it might get a little cloudier later today. But again, with a southwest breeze, we're going to warm up anyways. And I do think it's not a completely overcast day. We'll continue to see the sun poke through here and there. And then we'll have another batch of clouds tomorrow, but still a day we'll call partly cloudy before the rain arrives later on this week. So we're going to get a peek here at the hour-by-hour forecast. And once again, very little going on as we go throughout these next several hours, just bringing in a few clouds. But anytime you see these temperatures, in my opinion, this is comfortable any time of year. Sometimes you get one of those cool downs, you want to call it that, in summer where we're mid-60s. I appreciate those. And so this like 65, 66 degree forecast high personally, this is my happy zone. I love these temperatures unless I'm going to the beach, and then it can be warmer. But otherwise, you're just lounging around for the day. 65, 66, partly cloudy. That's great weather, and we'll have it not only today, but also tomorrow. As you see, the overnight lows are in the 40s. That'll be the case most of this week. I have tomorrow's high in Lansing at 64, probably coming in about a degree shy of today. But if you're near and south of I-94 Jackson, you might be either the same temp or maybe a degree warmer tomorrow. Just depends. There's also, though, a very tiny chance of a sprinkle or shower. You see that little blip in Lenawee County near Adrian on the hour-by-hour. Again, that's not necessarily going to be exact, but the model just gives you the idea that there will be some moisture present. So tomorrow, south of I-94, maybe a stray sprinkle or light rain shower late in the day. I really don't think many or any of us get into this. I think it'll be Wednesday night into Thursday. We bring in the opportunities for rainfall. You'll see that here. Again, starting Thursday morning, upper 30s to near 40 degrees. By the afternoon, we're going to be back in the 50s. I think it's a day we would break 60 again. With some late day rains, which I think will be filled in a little more than the hour-by-hour shows here. But once again, this all just goes to show that we're staying above average. Going back to 53 for the high Thursday and being a cold day is kind of funny because that's still 10 degrees above normal. So we're doing well for the time of year. That's all to say. So Tuesday again, 65 today, 64 tomorrow. Back in the 50s Thursday with the rain showers moving through. Friday, they're gone early. We might try to salvage 50 in some spots late in the day. I have Lansing's high at 48 just because I think by the time the rain and clouds get out of here, we're going to be kind of at or past our peak warming time of the day. So probably not a ton of time to recover, but if that rain gets out of here earlier than we expect Friday, could be another day we break 50 degrees. And Saturday, I think we'll be back at that same number, but it's mostly cloudy for the weekend, so not as many glimpses of the sun. However, St. Patrick's Day Sunday, again, very tiny chance of a shower. I think if anything does come down, it would be a sprinkle of rain, not anything else.
Right.
However, that's not the case Monday. I got a small chance of a few flakes, some flurries in there. This right now, of course, it's almost 7 days out.
Right.
I don't think it's anything to get worked up about. It's we are in March, but we have snow some years into May in this month. And so, I mean, it's just a matter of we've been very spoiled with a mild, warm winter, coming off the warmest winter on record. And Tuesday officially is the first day of spring, although the season doesn't technically start until the equinox, which is at 11:06 p.m. And so it's not really until you got 54 minutes left in the day that we do break into spring. We'll call it the first day of spring, but really 23 hours and change of Tuesday is still in the winter season, and boy, is it going to feel like it at 36.
Can we call it, say, spring starts on Tuesday and Wednesday's the first day of spring?
Wednesday is technically the first full day of spring, but if you want to be technical on the calendar, we got to mark it up on Tuesday for us. Now, if you did live off in the Canadian time zone, like off near Halifax, they technically do start on Wednesday because at that time it'll be 12:06 a.m. the following day. If you're over across the Atlantic Ocean, you're in Europe somewhere or in Africa, it will technically be Wednesday for them when the first day of spring. So it all just depends on where you're at. Relative, I want to say, sorry, I can spit that word out, relative to the international date line. And so for the United States and the rest of North America, other than, those places on the extreme far northeast Canadian coast, it will be on Tuesday night that it happens. But most other places in the world, on the eastern hemisphere for sure, they're going to be Wednesday for their first day of spring. But again, it's splitting hairs. Either way, we're going into the equinox. We're going to dive into the spring season with temps warming back up. Even after 36 Tuesday, we'll go back to the 50s before next week is done. And so it's just a continuation of sort of an up and down temperature trend and pattern that we've been dealing with as of late. It's tended to be more warm than it has been cold. And I know that to a lot of folks, 40, 50 degrees isn't necessarily warm. But compared to what our normal should be, we've been doing pretty well. And for us to have already in many spots have had 2 70-degree days to this point in the year, several others in the 60s. I mean, we're just way ahead of schedule with where the temperatures have been lately. And so that'll kind of be more or less the trend moving forward, too. We get 2 great days to enjoy today and tomorrow this week. Hopefully, you're able to get out and take advantage of those because, we're going, like I said, right back in a week's time. 1 week from today will be the first, whatever we wanted to decide it is, first day of spring officially starting later that night. So, and it'll only be 36. So you're looking at You know, some places get to 66. You know, we're mid-60s today. We're mid-30s next Tuesday. So take that for what you will. 30-degree difference in temperature just between the week. Not as extreme as a few weeks ago when we went 65-degree apparent temperature change in 24 hours. But again, still, it's just the reality of the situation is that we can get 30s, we can get 20s, we can get lows to dip into the teens, we can get highs in the 20s. We can get highs in the 70s, apparently. You know, we've done it all already this year so far.
True.
So,
why not? We've had thunderstorms already.
Yeah, we've had severe weather. We've had tornadoes in the area. I mean, you know, it's just kind of been a wacky weather year to start. It's been very warm, but that doesn't mean we've been without typical things we see like snow, like we had Sunday morning. And so it just all depends on whatever's going on. And you always want to stay in tune to our forecast, right? You want to be able to do it because the weather can vary so greatly from day to day, especially in a month like March. We talk about the wind direction and what's been going on. Weird El Nino year for the winter. But again, just continuation of that pattern. I guess the bottom line is just enjoy these next kind of 2 days, and then we got some rain moving in, some cooler temps to follow. The weekend's not bad for the holiday. Pretty average, in fact, for the time of year. We're still above average Saturday and Sunday both, and so that's good to look forward to for St. Patrick's Day. Once again, next week, going back to those cooler temps to start, but we are in the 50s before the week's done. So again, the snow showers Monday at this point, it's 6-7 days out. I would say they probably won't stick, but if they do stick, I can't imagine being any worse than it was Sunday morning to wake up to a little quick coating that melts off before the day's done.
Right.
That's probably the worst case scenario for Monday at this point. In fact, it's possible altogether that those may fade out of the forecast. It's again 6-7 days from now. We're just keeping an eye on it. It looks like we could see a few flakes. That's all.
So I was going to say, Monday, are we thinking just the kind where you kind of see them floating in the air?
Yeah, more or less.
Okay.
More or less. And like I said, if any do manage to stick, it would be because we got down well into the 20s Sunday night, which low's 26 in my forecast. And so if it gets down there and we maybe have a little bit of clearing, maybe dust up the grass with some frost or something like that, and then it starts to snow on top of that, then maybe you're able to get a little better accumulation. But I mean, hey, this is not bad at all for the time of year. So we appreciate you sticking with us and all that. Hopefully you're able to get more on your First Alert forecast. If you can't watch us online, the app's a great place to go. We also have got certainly our shows as well. Yeah, here it is right there at First Alert Weather app. So it's great to download. And I noticed that this is the apparent spring version for us here.
Yesterday.
Very nice.
Thank you, Darren.
Yeah, I love that. That's great. See, and those that's probably more in tune, to be frank, with what a lot of our winter's been than anything else. We kept showing the winter one, and it's like snow showers, temps in the 20s, and I'm like, where? We had like 2-3 days that seemed to be like that all winter. But you know what? It's been a weird winter. And so First Alert Weather app can certainly help you to figure out what to wear for the day, how to plan your weekend. You got events going on. Whether you're going to be outside, you need an umbrella, rain boots, rain gear, any of that other stuff. You haven't needed the shovels much, but
no, that was good.
maybe don't put them away just yet.
I haven't put my snow shovel away yet, or my salt.
I've still got mine around. You know, it's not like back in the back of the shed or anything, but you know, I've still got it around just in case, because you never know. I do not think you'll need it in the next 6 days, and you probably won't need it on day 7 either. We'll keep an eye on those snow showers, but hey, it's only March. You know, we could always have an overnight system come in that we're 50 during the day, but 31 at night, and we suddenly get a couple inches of snow in April. Tends to happen every year at some point, so I'd say don't put it away quite yet, but not a bad looking forecast here.
One more question. I know it's just outside of this 10-day forecast, but how are we looking for Easter with all those Easter egg hunts and everything like that?
Yeah, heading towards the end of the month. So the long-term trend has been favoring near, or if anything, maybe slightly below average temperatures. I can't remember if I had that graphic queued up in my system, but I had an 8 to 14 day outlook that we talked about during the show, and we'll show it again at 11 a.m. So hopefully you'll join us for that show as well. But it is looking like we're going to be near or below normal. Now, normal continues to climb throughout the month. By the end of March, it's kind of in that middle to upper 40s range, and so if we're near normal, you know, we're talking by I think it's the 31st this year for Easter, yes. Sunday the 31st. And so we're going to be going back to probably 40s more than likely.
Okay.
Of course, any major swings. If anything, I would probably err just the way the year's gone on above normal. But the climatological outlook is showing near or slightly below normal temps for kind of that back end of March from like the 20th through the 26th. And so who knows after that. The seasonal outlook did look like it was going to be above normal, as a lot of the past few months have been. So who knows? We'll probably have maybe the early part of the second half of March, slight chill like you saw in the 10-day, and then we'll probably end up going back by the end of the month to near slightly above normal, which frankly would put us probably lower 50s or thereabouts. And so if you want my super early look at the, what is that, 19 days out from now forecast for Easter, I would err on the side of not being brutally cold, not being snowy or anything like that. The only like really snowy holiday we've had was Halloween, funny enough, and we've talked about that many times, but it seems like it was eons ago, just based on how everything has gone.
It really does.
And again, we've been very spoiled, and I could continue to drum on, but I mean, the point I think has been hammered home at this point. Great weather, we've had a lot of it so far, and we got more of it today and tomorrow. And one quick shout out to Chris. We appreciate you watching as always over in East Lansing.
Chris in East Lansing.
Yes.
All right. Well, speaking of sticking it out, Justin's going to be here for News 10 today at 11.
That's the plan.
And here is what you can find there with Taylor Gattoni. I had everything pulled up, and then everything happened. A woman who has been missing for nearly 3 years has officially been declared dead. That decision came down yesterday from a judge in Lenawee County. Plus, we are going to go into day 4 of the manslaughter trial for James Crumbley, father of Ethan Crumbley. He is accused of not doing enough to prevent his son from carrying out a deadly attack at Oxford High School in 2021. Plus, tonight is Lansing State of the City address. We will preview what Mayor Andy Shore plans to speak about. And then we'll be back here at 2 o'clock. Taylor Gattoni will be joined by the ladies of Studio 10. Yep. And we will check in with our news team to see what they are working on for over 90 minutes of news. It starts with First at 4. Yeah. Until then, make sure you download that First Alert Weather app to help you plan your day, and stick to WILX.com for all of the latest news. Thanks for watching, and we will see you guys later. Have a great Tuesday.
See you.